set up the other day. I've gone back and I made some changes in it and I've resaved it a couple of times and I've kind of figured out how to do that.
Okay.
But uh, let me show you. It's doing something here that uh, puzzles me.
All righty.
Okay, I'm gonna call this junk file.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm going to put it in uh, a file that I've called junk.
Okay.
You can see I have a lot of junk there.
Yep. All right.
Um,
Now, but look down
okay,
below.
now
See,
look at what it's calling it here.
yeah, it's calling it there possibly, let's see, 2023 jobs junk file. When you hit the set and you went to this, at some point it picked up this file name. Cancel that for just a minute. And you see up here at the top, it's got that in the file name. So somewhere it's picking that up.
Yeah, and that's my question is where is it getting it from and how do I stop it?
Okay, so let's see. Let me
Cancel?
yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and request remote control too.
Okay.
Okay, so now if we cancel that and we exit, it's just gonna come right in like it's done as if we'd skipped it. So let's close this and we'll try this again. A new, go to next, and we're choosing minor
Minor
subdivision.
subdivision, yeah.
Okay, and we say
Although
finish.
it does it with the other one too.
Oh, wait a minute, I did the wrong thing here. That's it. Well, okay, now I said finish. Now, Drew, new drawing name. Now you typed it in up here, and yet when we said set, you went to browse, and then you went to,
2024.
so we're in 2023 jobs right now. So if I go up here to 2024 jobs and look in junk, and now if I type junk file, then that will keep it from popping in. Now
Okay.
so let me exit that and try it the way that I watched you doing it was with um not closing. All right, so you did it with this new drawing. You said next, we take the template and I'll go back and you said it did the other one too, but I'm going to do this now. The difference that you did when this came in was you typed the name here first,
Yeah.
and then you said set, and that's where it's picking that up. Probably because when you typed the name, is there? Yeah, see, when you type the name and you hit set, so it's looking in that folder that is set as the starting folder, and it's taking that junk file and it's finding one of the drawings down here that's named junk file, that partially named, and it's picking up the rest of that, assuming that you were trying to do that as that starting, almost like you're giving it like a wild card start.
Okay.
All right, so, and I don't know how to keep that from happening other than if you hit the set button first. Or then, then once this comes up. So like if you had, for instance, me cancel this and exit this again. Now, if we look at your area here, let's see, let's find our, where's that, go to that folder for that, not to the 2024, but that one right there. Go to that folder. And let's remove that one that had junk file as part of the name, or we start with a different name. So you've got this 2023 jobs junk file.
Yeah.
If we, well, that's the INI file. Let me set the type and we'll get the actual DWG. Right here it is. So if we called that, instead of junk file, for instance, trash file, right? So just we'll keep the file there for whatever reason we might have. We can close this. Now, if we were to do it as the same way you just did it, I think it will keep this from snagging that file name, even if we do it up front. So if we say junk file, and then if we say set, now see, it's going to take it from that last one that it found.
Well, that's okay. I can just learn to hit enter
Set
the job name here.
Yeah, just hit the set button first, or yeah, you can just, do it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so choose the set button first. Apparently, when you give it a name here, I don't know why it's supplying it that way, but yeah, I mean, that could be something for tech support. They could maybe clear up some of their code that doesn't repopulate that.
Okay.
All right, so that'll be one thing. Just hit the set button first.
Okay. Now, can I leave this one open when I open 2024? Do I have to have it closed?
No, you can leave it open.
The reason I want to leave it open is I want to see the toolboxes that I have set here.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. And did you see the email that I sent to you that Carlson had sent to me?
No, I don't recall.
I just sent it just a few minutes ago.
Oh, okay, let me see that.
Uh, Or they let me go back and reload it on IntelliCAD 11.1.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I saw that earlier when you did send it. It was, if you wanted to use the different IntelliCAD, just reinstall it and choose that one.
Yeah, but then they're also recommending that I go back and delete all the 10.1s.
Well, you don't, let's see, what did they say? I think all you have to do is just delete that one that you installed. You may want to uninstall the 10 version to alleviate confusion. Yeah, so we'll just uninstall that one before we reinstall it 2024. You don't need to uninstall the 2023 versions that are using 10, just the 2024.
Okay.
All right, so we can do that in a second.
So just open any job here.
Yeah, that's fine. You're in 2024 at this time. There we go. Okay. Now, state plane 83, switch to less ambiguously named. Okay, that's nice. I'd like to specify no. It says US NAT 83 2011, West Virginia North, or the NAT 83 86. Now that's the two different.
Yeah, I'm using 211. How can I just set that so it doesn't ask me that question every time?
All right, well, I'll show you that when we get to it. So go ahead and set that. And then now that's based on what this drawing is set to at this point. And so it's switching to this one now, whether it has changed what our setting was. Let's see, let it finish loading here.
It is finished.
there we go. Now I've got the command prompt. There we go. So if I go here and I look at, oh, sorry, not this one yet. But if I look at my drawing setup and it is pointing to this NAT 83 2011. So if you save this drawing now, it should now you've predefined that as a user defined. Okay, so okay, that's fine. All right, blah, 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 set of controls used previously. In older versions, please pick predefined or user defined and make your selection there. Okay, so when opening a drawing that was set up previously using the old state plane 83, you'll be prompted to switch between. Okay, so you're going to switch and choose the 2011, and then certain operators are going to transfer lat long. Takes the input data is the same realization. Settings configure cross and survey. If you set it to off, then no realization transformation will be performed. You also set it to per drawing and control it in drawing setup. Okay, so what that will mean is in our setup. So this is as they want you to use going forward.
Okay,
So now what should happen is if we save this drawing, and let's save it as, we'll give it a new name. We'll just call it Bell dash new projection, just so we know which one we're working with, and we'll save that. So now if we actually close that, and then if we open, here's that new projection, it should not give you that pop-up.
okay,
Okay, so it's now coming up without. And there we go. So that has now been set. So anything that was previously defined will still show you that when you load it up,
okay.
until you change it. Now,
When I open a new drawing from this in 2024, it won't ask me that, will it?
no, because you'll go to this drawing setup at that point, and it will come up here. Now you're going to choose from your predefined user defined.
Right,
Okay, and then you'll define this projection, and then you can add these predefined, and you can find you say you can maybe just search for WV, for instance. Of course, that's not in the key. Let's see what we can find. Oh, I guess it's spelled out, West Virginia. There we go. So you could choose any of these particular ones. There's your 86s, your 2011, there's your HARN, your high accuracy reference network, depending on what you're based on. So then you could also choose, these other ones,
yeah,
but if you're using 2011, then that's the one you want to use. But if you don't see it in your list here, you're going to choose the add defined and pick from that list that comes up. Okay.
okay,
All right. So that should be set there. Now, the way you want to do that to where it comes up automatically is under settings, Carlson configure. That should be in our startup settings. No, I'm sorry, not startup settings, but our drawing setup. Now, the startup settings right now is pointing you to that Carlson DWT. So if you most often start with one of your other drawing templates, like
yeah. That
these,
mostly SHEPP.
okay,
SHEPP. No, I mean, I'm sorry, mostly the minor subdivision.
minor subdivision. So you can start with that. Just when you do start a new one, that's going to be the one that's going to sit there first. And you can change that, of course, when you start. All right. So that's
Okay,
that one on the, okay, that's fine. We need to restart it to take care of it later. But now on the drawing setup is where we're going to set, there's your US feet, your point symbols, all those different types of things. And now your coordinate system down here, your projection. That's where you go to choose that. And then you want to define the projection. And you're going to choose this if that's the one you mostly
yeah,
use.
yeah,
Okay. And then we'll say, okay. And then we would start things over again here. Now I want to take a look at these survey settings real quick because they said we had the initials to perform the lat long transformation. If you did that and switched to a different one, it can perform that, or you could say per drawing, so that if it says to per drawing, we can then, when this comes up, it's fine, we'll say future only, but then when it, oh, shoot, I meant to change that again to, oops, sorry, to this one's still set to per drawing. Okay, so we may have to reopen it for it to come up under drawing setup, then should now have, yeah, right here, perform the geodetic lat long transformation. So if you've actually done it to where the actual uh, datum transformation is different, if you've switched this projection to something that you did not use before, and you wanted it to reproject into the more, presumably more accurate latitude and longitude, you could then say, turn it on, and it would do that latitude and longitude retransformation. Probably would have zero observable effect on your, small sites, but if you're doing large geodetic type runs, you would see some slight shift in those transformations.
Right.
Okay, so that should now take care of that. And if I'm going to exit all the way out, and we make any further changes from the last we did it. And now we go back to, is this 2024 up here?
Yeah, that's it.
So now when we run that, of course, if you start the old one, it's going to be without the prompt. But now, even if we go to a new drawing, we say use a template, it's now looking at minor subdivision.
Okay.
And we'll say this, and then when this comes up, it's set to user defined, and down here, the projection using is the 2011 West Virginia.
Right.
All right, so that should be all good to go. And then you'd give it a drawing name. And we'll set it, we're in 2023 jobs. Let's go up a level and then come down to 2024 jobs. And we'll type this as junk file. And then say next. And we'll take no import. Set the coordinate file, make sure it's new. Same name. And no import, say next. Okay. So now you've got that, which does not have your toolbars and all your configuration settings set up here.
Right.
Now to get that to come across, let's see, if we do this as a workspace, that is your Carlson workspace, so that's okay. Let's see if I can call this one 2023. I don't know that we'll have access to that. I'm just going to save that there under Carlson 2023. And then if we're here, yeah, don't think we can load that. Yeah, I'd have to go and find that. It's buried into those settings folders. But we've got another way then. If we go here and we want to copy these settings, we should be able to go to our toolbar manager, for instance, and let's save this toolbar file. We'll put it in your settings folder and we'll call it 2023 toolbar setups. And then if we come to this file and run that toolbar manager and we load 2023, should put things back there. The toolbars are there. We simply right click, choose properties, it's now docked on the left. So everything should work for you there. Here's your Carlson current workspace. You can save, leave that as it is there as well. All right, so now, and then that gives you, your layouts are as you are expecting. We are now in that coordinate space. We are in the scale setup that we set in our drawing setups in our configure. We are in our 2011 West Virginia North, and we have our toolbars set accordingly. Let me make sure I
Now,
set.
if you save this, the toolbars will be saved.
Yeah, that's what, right here, I was just make sure that it was not set to do not save changes. We're going to say automatically save changes. So that's good to go. We say exit, we say okay to that. Now, if we exit everything, no need to save the junk. And whoops, we come back. I'll do a new drawing. There's that. Okay, call it, instead of 2023, we'll go up, come down to 2024. Oh, that's another setting I want to change for you too. Go ahead and choose that, say next. Yeah, we'll replace it. And no import, we'll say next. It'll, let me say, okay, so there we go. Now we've got that. Now there's your toolbars. Now, if we look one last place here on our startup settings, right now we're telling it to start in 2023 jobs. So I'm going to hit browse and I'm going to go up instead of that 2023 jobs. Let's see, what were we looking at? I could just change that to a 4 because that's what it is. But just for yucks, it is user SHEPP OneDrive desktop SHEPP land surveying and mapping 2024 jobs. So if I go here and I look at my, let's see, there's that, and then desktop, and now SHEPP surveying and mapping 2024 jobs. Then we exit. Now, when you come back, that's just going to start you in that 2024 folder instead, which of course you can navigate away from if you need to. This reminds me, I'm glad we had this session. I need to put 2024 on my machine too. So now, and you see right there where it says 2024 jobs.
Yeah.
See, that's where it started. And then you could go down into, you had a junk folder, and then we could call, junk files, or junk file rather. And I'm just going to go now, and then next. All right, so now you see you're still going to get this warning. And I wish they wouldn't put it here because it makes people think there's something wrong.
Right.
It's not, it's just that's a limitation with AutoCAD and IntelliCAD. IntelliCAD, because they are making it so much like AutoCAD that you inherit all the limitations as well. So they can't set the annotation scale for a drawing if you've saved it in an older drawing format. So that's no problem. You can still set the annotation scale. And right now it's set to 1:1, but because we have this going for us, when we say Carlson configure general settings, we say down below here that we're going to See, use annotated scale right here, set annotated to the drawing scale.
Yeah.
Because that is set, then when we may have to just visit this. And I always look at this anyway, just to verify to make sure, because that's set to 100. And I'm going to change that back to 1. That's another reason I set that too. And I'll say, okay. And then now that should have put that at 1 to 100. I see it didn't. Why? Yes. T scale is on, so that's right. So if I were to, maybe I have to change it and then change it back to something. So if I set this to 50, no, it's not changing. Let me see, noticeable, automatic. So drawing. So if I make that 20, it's not triggering that. That's supposed to follow. Let's see, drawing setup general. Oops, sorry, not setup, but Carlson configure general. Start up, say drawings south. Okay, PSS. So if I use annotative scale and I select the active scale, and I'll make sure these are all on. Support all drawing scales, so they're there. It's not giving me a select the active scale. It doesn't let me select it. I don't. Or so if I set that 150, you see, it's not. Or let me turn this off for a minute. And then we are in. And I do want to use it. There's my equals, my inch equals feet. Set annotative to drawing scale. So that should change that for us automatically. It's not letting me choose this, although let's see if I don't. Okay, that's why. Okay. So you can choose which of these show up, but if we say support all drawing scales, they're going to all show up. That's why that was not choosing that. So that's okay. So if I were to choose this and say choose 20, then when I do this, uh, no, see, it's still gonna let me do that, but select the active scales. I want to support all. Let me just uncheck that. Support them all. Say okay. All right, so say okay. Now, when I exit that, now when I change this, see, right now I'm sitting at 1 inch equals 150 down here on my command line, the status bar. So when I change this to 100, for instance, it's supposed to trigger that to change, and it's not doing it there. If I look at it here, for instance, now I'm at 1 to 100, and if I change that here to, say, 50, oops, English, 50, and you watch down there, see how that changed it automatically?
Yeah,
That's what should be happening. And that apparently is not working here. So if I change my drawing setup, and let's put it, say at 50. Yeah, see, it's not changing that. So at least until I get that part fixed, apparently it's not responding well. That 1 inch equals 50 feet. That's fine. That's perfectly what we want. Why that's not automatically changing. Automatic annotation on and off. If I turn that off, it should be on. But let's just see what happens here. Changing this back to 100. Yeah, see, that should be on, just like it is over here. Yeah, they're both on. So then when that's set, I forgot what I set it to. Did I put it back to 100? Yeah, okay. All right, so right there, we found the first thing they need to fix. So that needs to automatically change to 100. And that is governed by this right here where we say set annotative to drawing scale. I don't think they have updated anything there. Maybe there's something about 2024 that they're going to say might be different. Let's look for general settings. Use annotative text. We'll have to come down here and find it. Use annotative scale when enabled text creative such as annotation. We'll use the scalable annotative properties. Also applies to symbols. Okay, fine. Support all drawing scales. Yeah. This option sets annotation to match the horizontal scale set in the drawing setup command. All right, so it's doing it just like we're expecting it to do. Now in 2023, this set active scales is in a slightly different place. It doesn't let you do that. It has this support all drawing scales checkbox, and there's no way to allow you to set it from within here. Whereas in 2024, we now have this, and it no longer says support all drawing scales. You now have that over here where you can support all drawing scales, or uncheck that and only check on the ones that you want to see out of this list. Now, what this list is made of is editable. And right now it is based on whatever comes in on that drawing template, okay, which we had. So, but you could change that. If we go down here to this, if I double click in the status bar, and I go up here to the top where it says annotation scales list, here's where you can remove and add and, make different ones that you want. So if you are using 1 inch equal, well, there's 60, you got 80, so 20, 40, 50, 60, 80, 100, 200, there's a 150, and like you can maybe move that up so it's sort of in order. Put 20 all the way up the top, 20, 40. We'll move 50 up, 20, 40, 50, 60. Let's move 80 up. So 20, 40, 50, 60, 80, 100, 100, blah, blah, blah. So now you can set that as your list to pick from. So then when you double click down here, you can choose based on that list. So you can edit that list if you want. That's what then would pop up in that other dialog that you saw from within the settings. But it is supposed to automatically trigger that change, and it's not doing it. So So you can also, if you just right click that, apparently you can bring the same thing up as if you double click it and choose it from the top right up here. So you could do it either way. Interesting. They don't do that now. Let's do this. You want to go ahead and install the new version with the 2011 or the 10 point, whatever, the 11 point version?
This is 11.1.
This is the new one.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I see up there, 11.1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess I need to uninstall the,
Yeah, let's make sure. Let's go ahead and close all of these for now. Let's make sure that was done. So that would be in your settings. Uh, Toolbar upgraded.
where are you seeing that?
Right. Oh, that might be, there's mouse, text, draw. That might simply be for Zoom. Let me see. Yeah, that might be a Zoom control that you might not be seeing. All right. So if I look at my settings and my apps, let me find, I'll search for Carlson
There it is.
2024 with IntelliCAD 10.1. So yeah, there you could uninstall that one. And I doubt that is causing any conflicts with what we're using here on this other one, but we'll try it out and see.
Are you seeing that?
The only thing I'm seeing is it says uninstalling.
Okay. It says, do you want to allow this app from an unknown publisher to
Oh,
make changes to your
yeah,
device? Yes or no?
yeah,
So
go
I'll
ahead and
hit
yes.
yes.
Mhm. And say yes. All right, so now the rest of this should be here.
How much room in your computer do those programs take up?
I don't know. I mean, it depends because it scatters stuff everywhere, but for the most part, it would be, if we look at, I've lost mouse control for whatever reason. Um, if you go, let me see here. I'm going to stop remote control, and then I'm going to ask request remote control again, see if that does it.
Okay, the request isn't coming up.
Hmm.
Oh, I've got it's doing some, got the blue circle circling here.
Yeah, it's trying to do something. I don't know what's going on. Let's see. Annotate.
Yeah, okay, now it's come up and
Yeah.
I've approved it.
Okay, good. All right, let me close that annotation. All right, now see, I should be seeing your desktop right now and it's not clearing.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
I just see completely black screen at this moment. I saw the start menu there for Carlson a second ago, but I'm not sure.
Okay, something just happened. Uh,
All right, so back in Zoom, go ahead and reshare your screen.
uh,
I think, let me make sure that screen sharing is off. I think it is. Yeah, so go back and share your screen again. There we go. Now, all right, there we go. Except, wow, I got huge icons.
yeah, me too.
Right. See,
And not only that, but the sound is different.
can you hear me okay?
I can, but it's different.
All right, let's see if we can get that back here a minute. If I get your request remote control, go ahead and now,
Okay, everything is on my laptop screen. It's not, there's nothing on the other screen now.
oh, okay. Is that the one? Well, I mean, you should be able to drag that window across. You may have to, or not the controls, but the actual, this window here that's here. Uh, see, 50, 19. All right, so that should be okay for your laptop. Let me do this, Mike. Let me, I'm gonna reset this. The, the Zoom meeting window, the place where you see our two names and that picture of me, that window should be resizable and you should be able to put that over on the other screen.
Okay, well, I'm not seeing that anywhere. All I'm seeing is the control button.
All right, pull down that control list where it says sharing and you stop sharing for a minute.
New share
No,
there.
just, does it say stop?
Uh, Stop share. Yeah.
Yes, go ahead and stop the share now. You should have your laptop screen and your external screen. Does your external screen look the same? Does the laptop screen, did it go back to the, it's still got the huge icons?
It does, and the others, it's not letting me move something to the other screen. So I'm going to turn it off for a second and then turn it back on.
All right.
And it says it's getting no signal. Is it on? Yeah, it's not, something's happened to my other screen here. It's not,
Okay. Um, Before we change any of these settings right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to end this session and then restart the session. You'll have to click back in with that link again.
okay,
In the interim, after we end, I want you to go ahead and just do a complete restart.
of the whole computer.
Yes.
Okay,
All right. So I'll give you about 5 minutes. I'll be started whenever you're ready. Come back in. Okay.
okay,
And let me, so I'll give you, there'll be two recordings when I send it. I'll merge them into a single link and we'll get all that together. But all right, I'll go ahead and end it and I'll wait for you to come back in.
okay.
Okay. So now I see your Zoom screen. So
Now let me move it. Let me see what is that. That's a,
did you share the second screen or did you share the laptop screen?
no, I shared the laptop screen.
Okay. Is
Can't,
that,
you can't see it?
yeah, I saw the laptop screen. I didn't know if do you, when you share your Carlson, are you sharing your laptop screen or the other one?
Yes, laptop screen.
Oh, okay. So I was gonna say, if you run, um, if you run your Carlson on the larger screen, then you can certainly share that screen instead of the laptop screen. So it's,
Well, I've never actually, you know what? I've never thought of doing the Carlson on that screen, but that would make more sense. It would certainly be a lot easier to see.
I would think so, yeah. So just just run Carlson and then just drag it over to the other screen and maximize it. And then when you share your screen, just share that bigger screen and we can get more controls over it.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to stop my remote control first of all. And then if you stop the share on this one, go ahead and load Carlson up, put it on the other screen, and then share that second screen.
Okay.
And then all of those little dialogues, like in your regular usage, when you have a pop-up, if you don't want it taking up, that screen space, drag it over to the laptop screen and, work from those. There we go. Now I'm seeing your Carlson start up.
On the
And
big screen.
yeah, all right. So go ahead and, did you have any other particular?
No, I don't think so. Well, I do have a question actually about a job I'm working on. Let me bring this up here real quick.
All right.
I don't want this one, not the Bell new projection one.
Yeah,
That,
and if you want to get that Bell new projection off of that, now you have to go ahead and tell it which one you're using there. Okay. Now, if you want to get that list off of, let me go back to request remote control.
oh, this is the wrong file. Let me close this one and
Now, before you do that next one, go down there, you see where it says Bell new projection. If you go down there and right click that one, I think you can choose to remove it from the list if you don't want to see that in the list. There you go.
okay.
Any of
I,
those kind of things you could treat like that. And of course, if you don't see it in the list, you have to browse for it. So,
no, actually, I don't want to see this one on the list either.
all right. So then just remove it from the list. And all you're doing is just taking it out of that list of recents.
Right.
You're not deleting it.
Okay, this is a an architect sent me a drawing. This is actually the one that we did the topo on and located all the trees.
Okay.
Well, the architect has designed the house and he sent me a DWG of the house and I copied it and brought it into my drawing.
Okay.
Uh, and it's on this layer called color 11.
Well, a site, yeah, it is drawn with color 11.
Right,
That's the color. The layer name is a dash site.
right, yeah. Um, so I'd like to change that. Then this is a swimming pool and this is a house, and I'd like to have them separate.
Oh,
So
okay. Uh,
uh,
yep.
to draw, would I have to draw over these lines?
No, no, you don't. If you select that, look in the properties all the way at the top and you see that, in fact, let me open this up just a wee bit here for you. Open that. That display. There you go. You can see a little bit more. Up here at the top, you see what it tells you what it is that you have selected. It is a block.
Yeah.
So to get that into its constituent pieces, you can explode that block. Okay, so if you explode the block, it'll put that out into the parts that make up that block. So that block is as if
That's
it,
over here.
yeah,
Explode.
yep. And since you have it selected, it goes ahead and explodes it. Now, when you select, you're going to only get, see, that's the building outline or I don't know what it is. It's on a layer called A area.
Okay, so I can create a layer called house and put all that on it then.
Exactly right. And then you could have another one that says pool. Oops. That says pool, and you could say select this, and it could go on your swimming pool, or you can even have, separate, like, these can be on, I see that's made up of individual lines. You could join those up into single polylines if that makes it easier for you. None of that matters um, to the way it works. But you could put one and call it the pool deck. The other one could be the pool. The other one can be, you can have a garage and a porch or an overhang, whatever those things are. You can make as many independent ones as you want and assign those to all those different pieces. But otherwise, what happens is when the block is created, it is created out of pieces from the original drawing on the layers that they originally have, but then it's turned into a single unit called a block, right? And then that block lives on whatever layer you're on when you insert the block or copy the drawing and paste it or whatever. That block lives on that layer, but it's also brought those other layers that made that drawing along for the ride. And if you look at here, because now we went from a site, which was the layer that had the, this is where the block was sitting. This layer you didn't see yet because it was in this layer. Well, we won't see it now either, but it would have said whatever I'm sorry, no, I'm getting this backwards. With the blocks, but if it had come in as part of an XREF, you would see a file name down, and then you would see, sorry, you would see a name and a vertical bar that looks like just a piece of text. It looks like a letter I or something. So it separates the original drawing name. You'll see that bar, and then you'll see the layer name that it was created on. Now, you don't have anything like that in this one because we didn't have it first as an XREF. If we had an external reference,
Right.
you would see maybe these are all, again, brought in on. So if we were to take, well, these are all image files, so that doesn't matter. But if I had attached a, I'll bring one in just for yucks, just somebody else's, and we'll just take it right back out. So here's one called 24009A styles. All right, so if I'm going to attach that one, so it's now attached, and we're not going to worry, it's somewhere off over wherever it lives. But if I look at my layers, now you're going to see that list of layers now is going to be, see that, where did it come in? That's that location and set. All right, so maybe did don't see that it attached. That's maybe why it didn't show up. Didn't attach. I must have missed the OK button or something. So if I choose this one and say open, let me watch the command. Okay, insertion point. That's why I escaped it all. So I'm going to say 001 and 1 and no rotation. So now it's in there as a as a as a block. And so now when I guess I could have kept that right up there. The layer name that you're going to see, there they are. So you see that 24009A styles and then that vertical line.
Yeah,
So those are all of the individual layers that comprise that entire drawing that we've set up. And if we had done that, now that's an XREF, but blocks work that same way. So if we then go and explode that block, you would get all of those defined layers that came in with, part of that block, just like we did over here. And that's where you then saw, instead of just a site that you had before, you now have that um, area. So when you open that up, then that brought that, and everything was drawn on that area anyway. So that's fine. And then you can make your new ones. Now, to put this back, we could either undo a bunch of stuff or we will just go here and then detach that drawing there. So if we detach it, it's now detached out of here. Ah, I keep forgetting. Let's stay right here. And then in layers, because we brought those in, and it looks like, oh, they handled getting rid of those layers for me. So my XREF layers are, okay, it looks like they've also changed the order of these. That layers used to be the top one and then layer states, but now they got blocks up here at the top of this. So yeah, interesting. Makes no difference other than just be aware when you do come into run that command with this icon or choose layer control, it's going to show you the layers, but you're actually over here in the left, you're sitting on that category. You can still do your XREFs like you've done before. You've got, your layout tabs and things that you can share between various drawings. So it will come up to layers as you expect, but if you were looking for something else in a particular spot, be aware they've changed the order of that a little bit. So
okay.
it's no big deal. All right, so now back down to this, like I said, you can just make your own layers and then collect up all of these things that you want to put on the particular layer. And also notice, even if I change a layer, let's say if I make a layer, let's just call this one, say, do I have, said there's building. Okay, so if I've got a building, and let's say I make that, say this blue color, this 150. And maybe I'm going to give it a little bit thicker line weight. So now if I choose this as that outline, if I change that color or that layer to be building, then what happened? Well, the line weight changed, but the color didn't change. The reason why is whenever this was created in the first place, it was created with a specific color. See up here, it's called white.
Yeah,
If I want that to show, it had to have been created with a color called by layer. And so now if you were to change that to different layers, because its color is by layer, if I change this to get, instead of building, let's put it on, say, dimension text, which is white. What do you got? Septic is green. It's green. And the line type works the same way. In that case, this line style, the line type is set specifically to color, but if it's set to by layer, then it would be whatever your septic layer says, and that should have been that dash pattern.
Right.
So I'm not sure that. See what my LT scale is set to 1. That's correct. And I don't know what this layer septic. Oh, it's also set to continuous, but if it were set to, say, this dash pattern, then if I were to change that line type to be by layer, now let's put it back on, say, septic 2. Septic, it's line type scale 1. Line weight is by layer, it's line type. So anything, your line weight, your line type, and your color, all of those things can be set by layer so that they inherit the behavior of the layer definition. So now I've turned this to be a line type generation on so the pattern doesn't restart. And you could even make it, say, a line type scale, just to match that septic, which of course you don't want to necessarily match on that one because we're going to put this on our building layer. And you can change it, make one called house or building footprint, make another,
Building's fine.
And then, and here's one. There's actually 2 things. I've got one on A area, I've got one on building. So this little one, A area, is just this.
Yeah,
Maybe that's a porch, but part of it's underlying this building footprint.
right.
And you've got this draw order business that you can put them up over top. So anyway, that's just standard manipulation. But a lot of times when you get these in, particularly from outside people, double check your properties because see, it's set to a specific color
Yeah,
and it's set, the line type and line weight are set to be by layer. So that part's good. It's just that the color is set. So if you wanted that to match whatever color the layer that you're putting it on is, then you would need to change that also to be by color.
right.
And because A dash site is set to be white, of course, that's why you're seeing it like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's take a quick peek at this drawing. I'm just still perplexed. I think they sort of broke this. No, it's changing now. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there was something with the one that we were looking at that didn't work correctly. Okay, well, maybe it was just a restart needed to fix it. And then put that back to 1. Okie doke. Well, that's good to know that wasn't broken. I wish I knew what caused it to happen in the first place, but I'll take a win.
Okay,
All right, that it?
that's it.
All right, sir. I will send you these links if they're helpful. And again, now we'll have that documented how to move those toolbar sets back and forth, and I'll get busy on trying to get 2024 installed on my machine.
Okay, good
All
luck.
righty. Great. Have a great one.
Thanks, you too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.